We've come to the end of another Horror Mayhem, the booktube reading event fiendishly devised by the Bookish Bryants. This year's theme was Decades of Dread, so we were tasked to read short horror fiction throughout the many decades, and I did this principally by reading 3 illustrious volumes published by Weiser Books. The Weiser Book of the Fantastic and Forgotten, the Weiser Book of Occult Detectives, and the Weiser Book of Horror and the Occult. I also read Aleister Crowley's The Drug and Other Stories. My favorite of all the stories I read this month came from the pen of the Great Beast. The Testament of Magdalen Blair was originally published in the Equinox, Volume 1, Number 9, in 1913. It was quite a haunting and depressing story. Crowley was at the top of his game with this one. On the surface, it tells of a woman with psychic abilities who delves deep into the dying, subconscious psyche of her husband. Esteemed Weird Tales editor Marvin Kaye included this warning. The Testament of Magdalen Blair, which the author claimed to be based on his own personal experience, is monumentally harrowing. If you are extremely nervous, very sensitive, and/or in poor health, please do not read this story. This is not reverse psychology to reel you in. I've been reading horror stories for over 40 years, but never before encountered anything half as chilling or depressing as the Testament of Magdalen Blair. I hope I never do again. I've got to admit, Crowley's prose is riveting. He wrote, "The demon shape, which I now clearly recognized as that which had figured in my last dream at Cambridge, seemed to gulp. At that instant, a convulsion shook the dying man, and a coughing eructation took the demon. Instantly, the whole theory dawned on me that this demon was an imaginary personification of the disease. Now at once I understood demonology, from Bodin and Werris to the moderns, without a flaw. But was it imaginary or was it real? Real enough to swallow up the same thought. This story is truly horrific, on par, I think, with Edgar Allan Poe in this instance. And thus we conclude another Horror Mayhem and anticipate the coming of fall as we return to the vaults of horror for Occult Detective October, my favorite reading event, naturally. I'll have more reviews for you in the coming days, and some other tricks and treats along the way. Until then, take care of yourself.